You are now within seconds of horror because we are going to be looking at some creepy videos on the internet. And as always, let's go ahead and get right into today's video. As someone who has worked in a hospital back when I was 18, I can definitely say that hospitals creep me out. And I have shared stories before of things that I have encountered that still to this day I cannot explain. I have heard stories from coworkers. I have heard stories from people who have spoken about people working in hospitals encountering patients that they thought were deceased, and they were. They have heard all these strange noises, strange sounds. They have seen very strange things on hospital cameras. Doors opening by themselves, objects being moved, and let's face it, if any place on this earth is going to be haunted, it's going to be a hospital. This next creepy video comes from King Crab on TikTok. He goes around different locations, especially hospitals, to try to pick up voices on his recorder. And I'll be honest with you, that would not be me. I would not talk to any spirits, ghosts, and so forth, because sometimes, or most of the times, you will not be hearing from actual deceased people. You'll be hearing from demons or other things trying to latch onto you. Again, just my personal opinion.
Lights on in this room. Anybody need help in here? Whoa. Just got a serious chill. You might be. If you are, you should head to the light.
Hospitals do have an eerie feeling and energy. Just think about all the people that do pass away every day inside a hospital. I remember a story that I told on my other channel, Minutes of Horror, about an encounter I had back in 2004 when I was working at Kennedy Memorial Hospital in New Jersey. I had gotten onto the elevator to go to the lobby, and a woman had gotten on behind me. She was dressed in all red. I remember to this day, she had red lipstick, red hair, even red heels. When the doors closed, I'd noticed that she was looking at me and then looking at my badge, looking at me and then my badge, and she asked me, "Do I know so-and-so?" And I said, "Yeah, that's my aunt." When the elevator had gotten to the floor, she turned to me and said, "Tell your aunt I said hi and I'll be talking to her." She never gave me any name, nothing like that. Once we got off the elevator, I could not see this woman. This woman was nowhere around. My aunt was not a patient of this hospital. Nobody knew who I was related to as I was new to this hospital. And a week later, we had gotten a call that my aunt passed away from cancer. What was crazy is that nobody even knew that my aunt was sick. This came off as a surprise to us. And I would never see this woman in red again. Was she some kind of spirit, good or bad? I don't know. But what I can say is that being in the elevator with her for that time, it did give off such a very, very eerie feeling. I can still remember to this day. But talking about relatives, loved ones, and hospitals, this next video comes from Dr. Joe MD on TikTok.
So I'm an ER doctor and I have a story that is 100% true and still gives me chills to this very day. And although I got permission to tell it, I haven't told many people until now. Many years ago, I was working in the ER and I got a patient who was a drowned. A 5-year-old girl who had fallen in the family swimming pool. When paramedics brought her in, they were doing CPR still. She had no pulse, no blood pressure, she wasn't breathing, and no signs of life. We brought her back to the ER room and we attempted to resuscitate her. I placed a breathing tube, and fortunately, after about 10 minutes, we got her pulse and blood pressure back. Family arrived and parents, of course, were extremely distraught. Dad particularly was really taking it hard. He was blaming himself. He was saying, "I should have known better. It's all my fault. I should have known better. It's all my fault." I attempted to reassure him. I was like, "Sir, listen, this is not your fault. Accidents happen all the time. It was a complete accident." And he said, "No, you don't understand. When I was a little kid, I went to stay with my grandparents and they told me not to go down to the river that was right behind their house. I wandered down there anyways. I got in the river, I got in trouble, and I almost drowned. I started screaming for help. My grandpa ran out of the house, dove in the water, and he saved my life, but he lost his that day." And the dad said, "First I killed my grandpa, now I almost killed my daughter." And I, again, tried to reassure him. I was like, "Sir, it's just an accident. It's not your fault. You know, everything will be okay." And the patient was admitted up to the pediatric ICU. A few days later, I'd gotten word that the little girl had woken up in the pediatric ICU and they had extubated her, taken out the breathing tube. So after my shift, I went up to visit with the family and the little girl. Obviously, the little girl wasn't talking too much because she's still recovering. So I'm talking to the mom and dad. They're extremely thankful. They're very grateful. And obviously, they're overwhelmingly ecstatic that she's going to survive this awful ordeal. So then I turn my attention to the little girl and I'm like, just sparking up natural conversation. Hey, do you remember me? And she's like, no. And I said, do you remember the nurses? Do you remember the paramedics? No. And out of nowhere, she goes, I remember Sam. And I said, who's Sam? She goes, I don't know. And I said, okay, well, what was Sam doing? Thinking, was he, doing chest compression, someone in the ER? I don't know. And she said, he was holding my hand. And I said, what did he look like? She said, he was wearing a hat and a funny jacket. And then I'm like, okay, I didn't know who she was talking about. Then the dad walks over and he's punching on his phone. And he pulls up a picture from Facebook and he points it at her and he goes, was that Sam? And she said, yeah, that's him. That's Sam. And dad turns to mom and he goes, oh my God, that's my grandpa. So his grandpa, who had died 25 years earlier, saving him from drowning, was there holding her hand as we were doing the resuscitation. Literal goosebumps to this very day.
In this next creepy video from Pink86 on TikTok, it looks like in this video, a doctor is still lingering about. Watch what this faucet keeps doing.
Okay, go. Who is it?
It's so weird.
Is it you?
Is it me? It's not me.
It's motion sensor. There's no one over there. Okay, do it one more time.
Do it one more time, please.
Okay. One last time.
Okay. Wait, so are we friends now? Can you do it again if we're friends now?
Oh.
We're not friends? You don't like me? Okay.
Are you a doctor?
Are you a... Wait, so do it again if you're a doctor. Wait, are you messing with us or are you actually a doctor? I don't know. Are you just messing with us? Okay. Well.
I don't know.
So the woman recording, she is Pink86. She is the nurse. Somebody left a comment by saying, the sensor is just going out. And she responded with, worked just fine when I tested it. After spirit left, didn't go off at all once spirit was gone for the remainder of our time in this room. So apparently, I don't know if the little girl left or they just figured the spirit left, but it just stopped doing this. But don't people realize that this is going off at very odd times? Every time they ask a specific question, it goes off.
Are you a guy or girl? So do it.
You have to be labeled.
Do it. Okay. Okay, so do it if you're a guy. Do it if you're a guy. Turn it on if you're a guy.
Nope.
So you're a girl? You're a girl. Are you? So she's a girl? Yippee!
Let's see.
Hi, you do have a bracelet? Just want to make sure she has a bracelet back.
Yeah.
You're good.
So double checking. You're a girl. Yes,
Oh.
maybe?
She got scared of the nurses.
It's okay. The nurses are gone. I promise. So she's a girl.
And just for show, let's see if it comes on right here.
Okay.
I'm right here.
Okay.
Nothing.
So now, let's see. Hello again. Oh, I should ask what color her eyes are.
Yeah, you can play a game.
So okay.
Now to play a game, okay?
So do it if your eyes are blue. Okay. Do it if your eyes are green.
Oh.
Wait, so your eyes are green? Okay, hair color time.
Peeps, are you seeing this?
Are you blonde?
Yeah. I think it's red hair.
Do you have red hair, like my friend? Do you have red hair? You have red hair?
That was creepy.
What do you mean creepy?
How did Biba guess that? Yeah, it is creepy.
Do you think it's crazy that my friend guessed it?
No.
You think your hair color is common?
Are you scared of the nurses?
You don't like the nurses? I'm sorry. I promise that they're only going to come back for my x-ray or MRI or whatever. Are you going to come with me during my MRI x-ray thingy? You're going to be with me? I'm so happy.
What's eerie to me is the fact that when she asked whatever this was in the first part, do you like me? It didn't respond. It didn't set off the water sensor. But in the second part, when she said, are you going to be with me? Are you going to come with me to the x-ray? It set off the water sensor. So this thing doesn't like her, but it seems like, and I get it, she's only a child, she doesn't know any better. But she invited this thing and it's going to follow her. That's very eerie. In this next creepy video, this individual was working at an abandoned hospital in Texas when something disturbed him so much he decided to flee.
Another bathroom. I'm working in an old urgent care that just got shut down. It got shut down before the freeze here in Texas. I'm not sure why it closed down, but it's pretty spooky. I'm supposed to be looking for a leak in here. This bathroom. Creepy hallway. Real spooky place. Another bathroom. Used to be upstairs, had to put your shoes in this little cubby. After some further investigation, there's no one else in this building. I heard someone go down those stairs though. So, I guess this was the meditation room. There's a lot of natural lighting in here. I probably don't need a flashlight right now. Here's the top of the elevator shaft. You can't see anything down there. So here's the meditation room. Kind of looks like the back rooms. It looks very culty. There's a stage up here. It looks like a couple of altars next to them. Creepy. Okay, now I'm getting the out of here. That was it.
I'm sorry, that's not an abandoned hospital. It's an abandoned urgent care. But still, I do not know how these people work in these places alone. And I definitely heard something say, I see you, as he was talking. This next creepy video comes from MP Erica C on TikTok, and she will go ahead and tell what she experienced working as a nurse one night.
So about 10 years ago, I worked as a float pool nurse, and I came in to relieve a charge nurse that had been there for 16 hours. She worked from 7A to 7P, but then stayed extra due to short staffing till 11P, which was, you know, normal for her. She picked up a lot of extra shifts. Everything went as planned. And, you know, my shift went fine until 4 a.m. I was at the nurse's station charting. I looked up and there she was. She was walking towards the elevator, very distinct walked, very distinct hair, had the same bag, was just bopping along like she normally does. And I said, hey, so-and-so, what are you doing here? It's 4 a.m. You just left. She just kept walking like she didn't hear me. So I said, oh, okay, well, maybe she's getting breakfast. I'll catch you when she comes back up. And about 2 hours later at 6 a.m, her husband called and told us that she fell asleep behind the wheel on the way home and crashed into a tree and died.
Now, imagine passing away and still clocking into work. I think that's the worst part of that story. But there is a theory that people who do pass away suddenly, they don't realize they passed away and will still linger around doing what they normally do. This is something I shared in a couple videos ago when that pilot in Bangkok back in 2017, he recorded what he believed were ghosts on an empty, disconnected aerobridge, and this was the same airport where a crash had occurred, where many people had indeed lost their lives. People doing what they normally do, not realizing they are no longer here.
666. Why is this going on?
Should have got a munchkin.
Please, dear God, protect us. No, why? This is the 3rd time and nobody's in that room. That's why the patients are... 1:45. Listen. Talk to the person, tell them to go to bed. No, talk to the person, tell them to go to sleepy.
Get out of here. No, go to bed.
Oh my God.
Dude, go to sleep. It's 1:45 in the morning.
Tell the ghost. Go. You know what? I think they're upset because there's no patients in this room.
No, Peggy's probably dead.
The lights went off.
Their first mistake is joking and playing around with whatever's in that room and having that other nurse talk to it, because apparently something in that room was trying to get their attention. This next eerie video comes from the paranormal chick on TikTok.
This video is absolutely spooky, and it's actually coming from a surgeon who was doing a tutorial video for her students. This is not the type of content she ever posts as far as paranormal scary, but she had to post this one. In the area that she was working, there's always been rumors that it's haunted, that corridor, those rooms are haunted, and people actually don't like to go back there. She didn't believe it until this. There was something watching her, and at the very end of the video, she captures it. Take a look at this. Tell me what you think.
The difference is, I'm so sorry, my brain. Okay, here we go. Back. So we have two procedures, polypropylene, monoethylene, and chromic cathode. The difference between these two is that this one is dissolvable and anal-dry, and the procedure lasts anywhere from 60 to 90 days. Tearing up right now. I saw it.
You saw it?
Yeah, I saw it. Can you please just show yourself? Just give me a sign.
This next segment has nothing to do with hospitals, but at the end of the day, I thought it was eerie all the same. This next creepy video comes from Seth of 7 Year Witch on TikTok. Now, his channel is all about him playing music, except one video, and this would be his last video on TikTok.
Never had an issue with ghosts or any weird, unexplainable stuff in my house, but I bought a guitar the other week at a garage sale from this old lady down the street, and every time I pick it up or strum it or play it, really weird happens, and I'll show you. I did some Lotus, like very 80s looking guitar, and every time I strum, like that. That happens every time I mess with this thing. Like that. I've never had an issue with...
It is known that spirits and other things can latch themselves onto objects, and it looks like whatever latched onto this guitar does not want this man playing its guitar. I would not have this object in my household. But like I said, that would be the last and final time he would upload on his TikTok page, and that video was uploaded back in 2023. Thank you so much for watching. If you like this channel and you want to see more, please subscribe. If you're already subscribed, please like, as any engagement does help the channel grow. Once again, thank you so much for your support.